We can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
We can hear you. Okay. So what Chiara is doing is widget art gallery, which is, as far as I understand, it's an app for iPhone and iPads. So we will have a kind of clip presenting it, and then while she talks, she asks me to kind of show some PDF. Yeah, and then if you have questions, just relay the questions to me, and I will type them in. Okay?
Okay. Hello. Hope you can hear me because I can't hear.
We can hear you. Can you hear? You cannot hear.
I'm here to present a smartphone project. The title is the Widget Art Gallery exhibition space I created 2 years ago for iPhone and iPad. The Widget Art Gallery is a mini three-dimensional single art gallery room that fits into your pocket. It's a place that shows temporary exhibitions. The WAG using Safari, using the free developer Apple tools, Xcode and Dashcode, accessible to everybody that has an internet connection, to make it a free app. The WAG is often a strange experience, a place where we are meant to have a private interaction with the artwork, but cold are also surrounded by pros. For a long time, art systems held the monopoly on curated, publicly and accessible art, but the internet gave them a run for their money with web-specific online galleries. The nature of the gallery and also the nature of the exhibition itself turned websites into curatorial spaces for commissioning and showcasing new artworks and time-based art in general. I will talk about some consideration on the practice in my artwork. I consider myself a bit borderline with respect to the art system, rather than completely an outsider. I feel both inside and outside at the same time, and I must admit I am very comfortable with this situation. The borderline situation reflects purely the way I relate myself with the art system and also gives me the opportunity to move myself around the art system more freely. It is my own curatorial art project, and is not restricted to any gallery's decisions and all market laws. It is always open and experimental, and deals without any deontological or conceptual constriction or conduct. I choose the artist, but the artist can also make a proposal for me. The digital artwork shown inside the mobile platforms in general cannot be confined or tracked because of its intangible and ephemeral, ever-changing nature. It is not private, but it's public. It can no longer be only autobiographical, but mostly it is social. Now we have to understand the new way to transmit the time-dated art inside the mobile platforms. The possibilities of interaction regarding the time-dated art in relation to the new spaces to understand and enjoy the interactive art that is transmitted very quickly through cybernetic energy. So the spectator, in relation to the mobile devices, will need to interact with the artwork many times.
Very more comfortable if someone's typing to you to type back.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Quite nice here with the keyboard.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, no, the widget art gallery is also built for the OSC Macintosh dashboard. So it's also a widget. This widget works under your dashboard and shows the same exhibition ongoing inside the phone and iPad and iPod Touch. Not yet, but will come soon a version for Android platforms.
Okay, let's type the question.
Type it, yeah.
No sound, no voice. I feel outside and inside. I feel borderline.
Okay. Can you guys read it, or shall I read it out loud?
Yeah, that's a good idea, because then I'll get it on
Phil
there.
is asking, you mentioned that you were trying to be outside the art system, but I wonder if the technology forces you into a different system, one which is curated, quote unquote, by the technology companies. There's a related technical question: what does someone who creates an art for the gallery have to do? Is the artwork dependent, independent of programming language, etc.?
Or is it tied to a platform?
Can I answer?
Yeah, or is it tied to the platform?
Okay.
Yes.
So the first was regards the technology and company. The widget art gallery is not on the Apple Store. It's a free project curated by me, and it's like an online gallery but for mobile platforms. It's not related to companies. The second question, no. This is not a software. It's HTML5 and some JavaScript functions. Yes, HTML5 is an open source technology. To create an app, you have to do not a programmer, but you must have some skills regarding the some programming languages.
Okay, you guys, do you want to put some questions there?
How is it different from web design?
Good question. I had the same question. Basically, why is it not just a web page?
If you're going to use HTML5 to put art on the internet.
Yeah, why is it a widget on
Exactly. Anybody can see it if it's on the web.
It's totally different because
if it's not on Android.
You use some software to make web design. Okay, the difference in HTML5 contains some specific WebKit Safari mobile plugins. that the normal browser doesn't have. I am curating Italian and I set up the whole exhibition. Now it's different. Your ordinary web, it's not a site-specific exhibition. Artists can make a proposal, and I can choose the artist.
Hey,
Yeah?
Okay, well, see, what I've got an issue with.
Yes, please.
I've got an issue basically with this question of this idea that, well, one is this idea that when you make an artwork it'll become a social rather than an autobiographical experience. Because I don't know if you can really, I know you can kind of make some work that has a
What
social
kind of issue?
element, but I don't know if you can
Really?
necessarily say that work is basically being made socially in that regard. I was just wondering basically what she meant by that, what she meant the comparison between an autobiographical and a socially created work of art.
Can you put this question, Phil? Yeah?
Yes, right. I mean social because you share the artwork, and the artwork can be a process.
Alright, so in that sense, okay, not one artist, that's what she's meaning.
If I can make an artwork, make a website, put it on the web myself, promote it myself, why do I need you?
But this is a curatorial program. Yes, anyone can make the artwork on web. But this is first, it's different because you have your work on your computer, but you can't have the artwork always with you. The iPhone is little and you have the mobile always with you. It's different.
Can you ask why is it curated? Because presumably, like what you're saying, say okay, we have an app that is taken as a gallery, but surely anybody could kind of plug in through an API there.
I mean,
There's
and
visuals.
she seems to be focusing on the fact that it's for mobile
Yes.
devices rather
You
than
get new
for
work.
laptops, but
Yeah,
that's irrelevant.
It is relevant.
I curate
Could you
one
repeat that?
exhibition, one per short per month.
Okay.
It seems like an extra person to go through. I mean,
Yes.
for me to have my art in her gallery space, I'm going to make it, send it to her, she's going to approve it, program it, and then only people on iPhone can look at it. Whereas if I make it, stick it on the web, then anybody on any device can.
Presumably, not all artists can do know how to do that exactly. But some artists work in different ways. Some might just be purely Photoshop Photoshop skill based.
It's a platform basically.
It's just like any other gallery.
And like any other gallery, yeah, it's like a.
It's not. It's very alternative. It's mirroring of the same system.
I mean,
I was going to say,
that is a very interesting point. Could we read that one?
I think if you were to take it more.
What is your name, sorry? Dan is saying that it's kind of mirroring the same system rather than alternative.
I mean, if it's a saleable gallery, it's a different thing as well. Like,
I'm not saying that's a bad
the
thing.
work's then being
I'm
sold.
just saying it is.
Something. Sorry?
Well, I mean, some people sell digital works like this.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not sure if she's doing the same thing or not, but you know, some. Yeah,
Could you ask her if she's also heard of S edition?
It is a non-commercial project.
Non-commercial.
Gallery systems are commercial.
So then, in that case, then kind of, then I guess it's
One
No, never.
I think, could you ask her if she's heard of S
And
S
it
edition
is a free project. Project.
Yeah.
Like that?
S
Nobody are paying me, and I don't ask money to the artist.
So in that case, presumably it's like a gallery that
S
operates
edition.
on its reputation for the promotion.
No, not commercial.
S edition?
No,
Okay.
I don't know.
No. What is S edition?
But the digital gallery, it's not a space for rental.
S edition.
Alright, S edition is basically it's kind of like the digital medium of an art
Okay.
gallery in a commercial sense. The idea is that an artist will basically make a work, it might be like a print license for one of these, or something like that. And the idea is that edition messaging packages this print into an app form. It might even be moving image, but it might just basically be the image that's override, but it might be like a very, very good quality of the image. And the idea is that
Okay,
you
no,
can see it on your
it's
own.
totally different.
You can see it on your own iPad, you can see it on your iTelevision or whatever. And the idea is that you have this, and you have the kind
No,
of
it's not SMS.
but
Yes, totally.
Okay, it's
Because
totally different.
the widget gallery is a space that I have created to exhibit time-based art and
So it's
time-based
just for time-based art.
site-specific installations.
still
All for free.
I'm wondering whether maybe she would consider, changing the format of the space. If it's something like that, otherwise, well, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and also in this, why if it is basically in data format, why does it look like physical, like
Not yet.
from our physical experience?
I ran the widget art gallery science 2 years ago. Oh yes, the space is always changing.
Ask her if she's seen the movie Q.
Yes, sometimes could simulate a physical space, but sometimes not. It depends from the artist project.
Alright, so maybe people can...
Some artists need a space.
If the artist needs a room,
No,
wouldn't they
I
make the
don't
room
know.
part of the art in the first place?
It depends from the artist and the artwork. Some artwork needs a specific space. Some other artists don't need the cube, the little space, the little room.
Okay, she's showing the code. Is the code the art in that sense? Are we looking at the what she thinks the art?
Yes, exactly.
So you might be asking about her aesthetic decision about whether she wants to put something which is like a little operating system.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And the other question is, does her system have the capacity technically to put a program? If she's got the capacity technically to put something like an HTTP client,
I think it has to be written
then
in widget, doesn't it?
she presumably could put any program, just JavaScript, right?
Yeah, okay. But so the program, how the program was related to performance as far as I understand?
It's a streamed performance.
It's a stream performance. So the object was the object wasn't the program. The object was the performance. That's exactly my point. Can you ask her why she's focused on visual data or visualized data? I haven't seen something that hasn't been visualized.
Well, that's because we look at the PDF streams.
So,
If you look at a PDF.
well, I don't know. Is she just visualized data or some just programs? The focus was not the
Not
program
criterion.
or the aesthetics of
There
the
is not a
program.
criterion.
The aesthetics
I have
were...
invited artists from all over the world.
Okay, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
Could you
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so she would put it
Why
in.
not?
I mean, will she show an operating system or an API?
I'm going to do a screenshot. Wait a moment, because I have to open each code. Take
Okay.
some few seconds.
Yeah. That's what is another artist. I think involved with the upgrade. You guys know the upgrade network? No, we kind of they have different nodes in Berlin and Paris, in different places in Canada. No.
What's it to do?
They're doing different. They're kind of like a loose connection of nodes, if you like. That they have like every year they do events, different places. That this technology.
This is a screenshot
Oh,
about the latest artwork now showing at the Widget Art Gallery. So you can see a bit some JavaScript functions and the main window, and you can see in the second you can see the simulator, and this programming language.
could you just press the date modifier?
Right?
If you go,
Oh, yeah, sure.
yeah.
You can see
No, why are we looking at the
two
code?
main sides. One for the code, and the other one is a visual side of the program. So you can also watch what are you doing while you are writing the code.
No, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you see is what you
That
get.
has the possibility
Yeah, no, but I was asking something very different. I was asking if she will put into the gallery an operating system or an API.
Well, the thing that your phone acts as the operating system instead. So that
Well, in a sense,
No.
just
I use
something that doesn't have any visual
language.
or visually.
What I was thinking was
everything time-based out.
this is less it's not so much a creative question or a technical question, so much as a practical question.
Okay.
When somebody who hasn't got like net savvy
Yes.
wants to basically put something on there, it might be a great piece of work, it might be an installation, it could be a sculpture, it could be something fantastic, whatever it is. Who's going to make it so that it actually, who's going to actually write the HTML code for that, so it can basically become an app? Because if they haven't got the technical ability to do so, who's going to
I
do
think
it?
that she said that she's writing.
She's writing. I see. So in that regard, that's how she's curating it, as a person who's actually writing the stuff.
But you also decide what things get inserted into it anyway.
Sure, but I guess in that regard, I think it kind of makes sense because then she herself is the gallery.
Yeah.
In essence, it basically means that she's the one who lets stuff in or keeps it away. She chooses how it's
She's the
shown
gatekeeper.
as well. Exactly. She also chooses how it's going to be presented within the gallery as well. So basically, she completely
I think she's really good though. She says she's
Yeah.
Yeah, which is what I was thinking about. It was just more that thing.
No, I always put the artworks inside the Widget Art Gallery. The artist
So she always does.
must create only the GIFs, and I set up the whole exhibition,
Talking about gifts.
as I told before. But I have choose to program for iOS Apple because I like more than Android. But we always are forced to do a choice because exists Android, Apple, so I have decided to operate on Mac because I am very comfortable and because I know very well this system. I prefer to accept gifts. You can submit your work directly to my mail.
Email her, but if she wants gifts.
At the moment, I have I have a lineup
Okay, I'll submit
for the Widget Art Gallery, so I have programmed all the exhibition until April. But submissions are welcome because from May I accept no submissions.
Okay.
I've got another practical question. Okay, how is she being paid by people that download the app then, in which case?
That's
it's free.
It's free. I don't think it's a commercial thing. I think it's
I mean, because the only thing is it's a lot of work to replicate people's work within this app. I don't know how much it's free.
It's regulation, isn't it?
But
to run an online an on-device art gallery, that's her thing. She said, I think, if she gets people.
Okay, I'll submit something.
How's she funding herself?
But suggestions are welcome, are always welcome. That's a good question. What about music? I don't know, because I never had experimented. But we can experiment.
I think Susanna should do this.
Yes, we
I'm
can
thinking
try.
so as well, yes. Yeah, I am, yeah.
Tell us that quite a few people are
Ah,
thinking
yes.
Oh, thank you, Phil.
Welcome, Susanna.
Hi.
Yes, we can, because I can import inside the HTML5 some audio file as QuickTime. Most audio files are welcome. I have to study the problem, but I think it's possible. Thanks.
Okay,
Oh,
let's
thank you.
sum it up a little bit. Chiara.
Thank you, Harold. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for
to
coming.
talk with you. It
thanks.
was a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure. We'll keep in touch. Okay, cool.
Right.
Good night.
Good night, thanks.
Buenos